Hello, mis cielitos, and welcome back. Coco and Rosh are here, and we are continuing Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Miss Lloyd? Of course, she could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk.
What's the matter? Something you want to say, Miss Journalist? No, never mind. That's what I thought.
Miss Lloyd!
Huh?
I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You are a journalist, after all, are you not?
Dang it. I can't stay quiet any longer. Hey, you understand what you're doing, right? I'd think carefully before opening that mouth of yours. I was so focused on bagging me a scoop, I forgot the most important thing of all. Real journalists don't lie.
Well, then Lotta Hart certainly can't be your mentor.
Ain't no dang scoop if it ain't the truth. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I should have showed you this before.
What is it? Turns it around, like, points it at his eye and, like, beams directly into his eyeball.
I hit the exact same mental image. It's the laser pointer I used on the president. That's all I done. I never shot nobody. Stupid. I thought I told you, Squeal. You go down as an accomplice.
Didn't know. Okay.
No. Why is it always on Lloyd? Still didn't come through.
Hold on a second, I'm going to switch my mic to the same thing that my mouse is in.
Yeah, you sound a bit different now. Or something sounds different.
Okay, is that better?
The quality is different now, it's weird. But I can hear you.
Alright, let me try. It was him. He told me to do it. I was at St. Far's embassy sniffing out a story like I told you. This was 3 days back. He comes up to me out of the blue, just starts talking. Help me out and I'll get you exclusive access to the president, that kind of stuff.
But what about the gun in the trash can?
That I don't know nothing about, I swear it. All's he told me was to wear a jacket with a red hood and to point that there pointer at the president. I never thought for a minute it'd blow up in my face so bad. I'm sorry. Truly, I am.
Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham.
What's wrong with you people? Don't any of you know what's good for you?
My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from the case as you'd intended, perhaps then you could have kept your pawn quiet.
Good sprite.
So, let me get this straight. You told Tabby. If you let slip about our fake assassination plot, we'll have you convicted for murder. Or something like that.
Avoid the dirty.
I said no such thing.
President Wang. Unironically think he looks better this way.
Yay! It's a lot less disturbing.
Give it up, Knight. It's time we came clean. It's our only choice.
So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a plot to fake an assassination attempt.
I do. I'm sorry.
But why? Why do something like that?
My popularity has been on the wane back home. I thought surviving an attempt on my life might give me the boost I needed. I know what we did was wrong, so yes, it was all lies. All of it. And the...
Oh, sorry.
And the bullet in the vest.
It was planted ahead of a time. I wasn't hit by anything today.
But then, what was up with the killer?
Our plan got out somehow. And then he just appeared hell-bent in turning our fake assassination into a real one.
Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. He'd hoped to get in close enough as the fake assassin to finish the job.
The thing I don't understand, though.
Oh, and what would that be?
Why did Rook have to die? The whole thing was fake. How did he wind up getting killed for real?
That's true, and therein lies the real question.
He was a fine bodyguard. The best, in fact. He may not have been a native of Zhengfa, but he was someone I could fully trust.
I'm right here. Mr. Rook must have been really something to gain the trust of someone who'd hide from his own shadow. Brutal.
Sounds like you've just translated the president as I am to you, also.
Yes. I believe that's for me to say, Detective, and not you. Mr. Rook must have known about the plane too, then, correct?
He wasn't aware of any specific details, so not really. I tried to involve him, but he refused.
And you would have done well to listen to him.
This is a tragedy. The life of a good man has been wasted.
What's so great about him anyway?
What's gotten into him?
He was just another piece on the board. There to protect you. Nothing more.
Mr. Knight, how could you?
Who was it that actually went along with your plan, huh, Mr. President? Well, the pious coward backed down when you needed him to step up most.
I value your support too, of course, but...
Look, I'm your chief bodyguard now. That's all that matters. And now that spineless fool Rook is gone, things are gonna change around here. I'm the prettiest girl. Thanks to me, genius strategist, grandmaster, rightful leader of this team.
We are all we are all well aware of your ambitions, Knight. But doesn't this seem a little imprudent to you?
Why? My plan this time was perfect, as they always are, and as they always will be.
That's quite a statement. Especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure.
Yeah, no thanks to you. And the buffoon Rook.
And how exactly was it Mr. Rook's fault?
If he hadn't died, the killer would never have come after me. And I wouldn't have had to let you in this plane.
Please, Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk like that.
Fine. The guy died protecting you, Mr. President. I'm sure that's just what he always wanted.
But did he die protecting the president?
Wait! I thought the whole assassination thing was fake. Ah, come on. Do I have to say everything twice? We planned a fake assassination, but somebody else came along and tried to make it real. 2 shots were fired, remember? Like you said, Edgeworth, one of them was the bullet I shot through that balloon. But the second, that wasn't me.
Oh, really? Then who did fire it?
The real assassin. But not to kill her. His plot was to come after the president with a knife. No, the most likely suspect here is the piece cowering quietly in the corner. Our lily white queen over there. What?
What, Miss Lloyd?
Again with this? I'm not your danged assassin. But is that really true? I, for one, don't believe it. And I, for one, like Roman numerals. The gun in the trash can. It can only belong to you.
Yeah, but that one was empty. Knight's Gambit.
As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Luke escort the president back onto the plane. I left Luke in here in this room while I secure the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Luke was lying there on the ground. Miss Journalist must have shot Luke while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can.
So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by the bullet, do you?
The knight doesn't protect the rook, Edgeworth. He protects the king. You want to translate for people who aren't nerds?
He means that his only concern was protecting the president.
Lose the king, and you lose the game. Is the first rule of chess.
But a win in which a key piece is sacrificed is a hollow victory indeed.
It doesn't matter. It's still a victory. I kept the president safe. I win.
Well, it's a bit early to be calling our little match. In any case, for this is where our battle really begins.
As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Luke escort the president back onto the plane.
Hold it!
The victim really didn't take part in your little plan then, did he?
Nope. And we kept him in the dark on the details. So you really thought the president was in danger? Wait, you must have noticed that the shot came from right next to him? Maybe he did. Guess we'll never know. And even if he did know it was a sham, he still had a job to do. He still had to protect his king.
And he was able to make a judgment like that in a split second. Impressive. He really was as capable as they say.
Not so capable that I couldn't read him like a book. I made it so he had no choice but to go along with our little performance. I left Luke here in this room while I secure the president in the safe room.
Hold it!
Why do that? You and the president both knew the whole thing wasn't real.
But it had to seem real. There were people everywhere. It's not a good look, right? Imagine if someone had spotted a man who'd just been shot at. Hanging out in his plane, sipping grape juice like he didn't have a care in the world.
And what was the victim doing during all this?
Who knows? I was in the safe room, like I said. Anyway. When I came back out, Luke was lying there on the ground.
Hold
Where on the ground exactly?
Right where he is now, the middle of the floor. The door to the outside was shut, though. Guess the bullet must have hit him right before he closed it. And thanks to his little blunder, my whole plan fell apart.
Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk that way.
He may have kept you safe, Mr. President, but he isn't here now to save your good name. I'd call that dereliction of duty. What would you call it?
An honorable try, which is more than what you'd give, I'd say.
Sorry, but that's just how it is. This journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage.
Hold it!
Weren't you and Mr. Rook both carrying bulletproof attach cases?
Yeah, opened them right after Rook spotted the laser sight. We moved into covering positions and used them to shield the president.
So the bullet that hit Mr. Rook traveled through a gap in that defensive shield. Do you really believe Miss Lloyd to be that skilled a marksperson?
No, she was aiming for the president. That makes her a lousy shot.
So it was pure coincidence that Mr. Rook was hit? And the bullet simply happened to find its way past your attach cases and through the gap in his vest?
Seems crazy to me too, but the facts are the facts. It was a shot in a million, but the shooter hit the bullseye. And the proof is in your hands. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can.
Hold it!
So the second shot had nothing to do with you?
Right. That one was fired by your little friend. Imagine the scoop she'd have bagged if it hit its mark. I'm a journalist, you hear? I don't make facts, I report them. Yeah, a journalist who signed up to a fake assassination plan in the hopes of getting the story. That's not... Look, I'll admit it, I set the whole thing up. And your role was to aim that laser pointer at the president. It's not my fault that wasn't enough for you. You were the one who decided to bring a gun to the party. I thought you had a knife.
I think he was talking about Shelly the killer with a knife.
Oh, of course. I'm so stupid. Who knows? Maybe you thought if you kept on the shooting, you could shut me up too.
So, Mr. Knight's suggesting that he first fired one shot, and then Miss Lloyd fired one more.
Yeah, basically implying that Tabby also had a gun on her. Look at her. Listen to her sweet accent. People from there never have guns. Beats me where Beats me where she could have got one from, but hey.
His entire testimony is pure conjecture. He can't prove any of it. You know, just like what he was saying to us before.
You're right. Let's hit him with some cold, hard, undeniable evidence.
Okay, so I'm guessing that last one with the gun in the trash.
Probably.
Present. Down in trash can on the side of spectator. Oh.
2 spent bullets. He said single killer shot.
Yeah.
Objection!
So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon and Miss Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook? Are you sure about that?
Sure, I'm sure.
Well, what you've proposed would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard. The gun from the trash can itself has also been fired twice. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the number of spent rounds? It's simple. Because it was planted. Planted by the real perpetrator of the crime.
They faked the evidence?
Yes, and if you think about it, the reason for doing so is obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. And in order to do that, They had to make it seem as if both shots had come from this one weapon.
I get it. So that's why it's got two. Sorry, I was doing Lloyd's there. So that's why it's got two spent rounds, huh?
Precisely, as we have already proven, the bullet that burst the balloon came from a different weapon. Which makes it entirely possible that the bullet which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either.
Nice work, Edgeworth. That's some high-grade sleuthing. But why don't you get to the point? You've come this far. Spit it out.
Oh, I intend to. Don't worry. The person who really shot Mr. Rook was... Oh. You, Mr. Knight! You're the one who murdered Mr. Rook!
Ooh, finally got up the courage to say it, huh?
Surely not! Surely you wouldn't have.
It wasn't only the killer who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook hoping that he would look like an accidental victim of the bungled assassination. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door of the airplane tightly closed, it was just you and Mr. Rook, alone, together. And that was when the third bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection!
Wait, you're really gonna claim there's a third one now? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard. Wanna tell me how that works?
Objection!
Airplane cabins are practically soundproof, Mr. Knight. If you close the door, nothing can be heard from the outside, not even gunfire.
Wasn't the president right next door?
Very true, which means he may have heard the shot himself. Well, Mr. President?
I didn't hear anything.
But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not?
The camera in this room isn't normally on. I have to manually switch it on whenever I enter the safe room.
And that's what you did this time too, right?
Well, that is...
What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important. Didn't come true.
Oh, sorry. Please, President Wang.
Fine, I was busy hiding under the bed, covering my ears.
What? Even though you knew the whole thing wasn't real?
Yes, because I hate the sound of guns! Just the slightest hint of that awful noise and, oh, it's just too much.
Oh. Oof. They're sadder than a pot of overcooked crawfish.
Mr. Knight, you saw that President Wong was cowering beneath the bed. And what's more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on. Which means you knew that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the third shot straight at the Mr. Rook.
How could you? Could you really have betrayed my trust so horribly?
You think I killed the old halfwit? You don't trust me much, huh? This is the thanks I get for putting my life in the line for you day after day.
I want to believe you, but...
I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is there to doubt here? What? You don't believe that girl over there could have done it? You misogynist? You think girls can't murder?
I thought better of you, President. No, because this gun isn't a murder weapon. We know this from the number of bullets fired.
Yeah. Well, how do you know there wasn't a spent bullet from the start?
What?
Someone could have fired a bullet from that gun yesterday or the day before. Then today, another bullet. The bullet that hit Rook.
That's pure speculation, pal, and you know it.
Maybe. But can you prove it's not true?
Not with any certainty, no.
Nothing without a conclusive proof, so come on. A single piece of evidence straight through my heart. I dare you. Well, what are you waiting for? There must be something. Mustn't there, Mr. Edgeworth? If we can't prove it, Tabby's. Please, Ruffles.
Aw.
I messed up. I know I did. I should have never have done what I did, not even for a scoop. But murder? Nah, that ain't me. Ain't a murderous bone in my body.
Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is a murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can.
If you at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun.
If we had the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from.
No proof, no case. End of conversation.
Objection!
Hold it right there!
What now? You're not about to claim you do have proof.
Of course I do.
This ought to be good. Alright, bring it on. Show me this proof of yours.
The bullet that killed Mr. Rook is the key to ending our little game. Very well, my conclusive evidence is...
Not in my possession.
not currently in my possession.
Alright then, thanks for playing, folks, but that's game over.
Imagine if the game closed.
However, it is here in this room.
What?
As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life and found itself lodged in the vest.
He's right. If the president had been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse.
But now, of course, we know that the so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was prepared in advance, made to look as if it had been hit by a bullet. Which begs the question, where's the real bullet?
I like it. A twist. This is good stuff, Edgeworth. Come on then, don't keep us in suspense.
Does any of the evidence point to where the bullet that killed Mr. Rook might have ended up?
The monitors?
Take that!
There's something very clearly missing from this room.
Yeah, a prosecutor with some common sense.
Oh.
Oh, you take that back. That's his superpower.
Take a look at the bank of security monitors.
Oh,
I was wondering when that thing would come into play. It would be great if it was never addressed. It
Yeah,
was
right?
just there to be weird.
oh.
I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-hand side of the aircraft. And that's because one of the monitors is missing.
Oh, that didn't come through.
There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President?
There was. I have no idea what my plushie is doing in there now, though.
It appears to be someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go and why? The why is easy enough to answer, because it was struck by a bullet. Or if we were to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed.
Oh, where did the missing monitor go?
Where indeed? I believe that it must be hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been time to dispose of it outside the aircraft. Detective Gumshoe, conduct a search if you would.
Right away, sir.
Mr. President, extraterritoriality, remember?
I have no objection to the search. Please go ahead. If it will help us discover the truth behind what has happened to Rook, I will not stand in your way.
What are you? I don't believe this! Rook this, Rook that. Don't you ever think about anybody else? Do you love him? Huh? Did you kiss him at night? Huh? Is that what this is?
I was just gonna be like, damn, he really wants this man. The search has been authorized, Detective, if you wouldn't mind.
Sir, I found the monitor.
Excellent work. Let's take a pause, everyone. Let's hold. Let's savor this. Now go ahead and extract the bullet.
Let's see. If I put my hand in here and just come on, come on, come on. Got it!
Don't be put gloves on, Gumshoe. You're gonna cut yourself.
What are gloves?
Oh no. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? Blood. This is the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There's no doubt about it. Found inside a security monitor. This seems to be the bullet that killed Rook. And there you have it, Mr. Knight. The single piece of evidence you requested straight through your heart. Even you must now admit, if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun, then Miss Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. What, no pithy comeback? Detective, have forensics analyze the bullet for striations and compare them to the gun we found.
Yes, sir. We'll get the evidence you need. You can count on it.
All right, let's hear what forensics has to say. Our findings are as follows, sir. Firstly, the blood on the bullet is indeed that of the victim, proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. Secondly, we found Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun, probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. Now for the key part, the striations. If they're not a match, then Miss Lloyd is in the clear. Lastly, the striations on the bullet are a match with this weapon. What? How could that be?
No way!
Oh, come on.
There's no doubt about it, sir. This is the gun that fired the bullet. How?
Well, isn't that something? Conclusive proof that I was right. What's the matter? You didn't think you had me backed into a corner, did you? Guess you misread the board. Because the only one backed into a corner here is you.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful time zone wherever you are. And as always, please do take care of yourselves and each other. Toodaloo-hoo!